Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all. And not to forget Eid Mubarak. I'm Sheikh Annuar, Sheikh Abdul Rahim. I'll be presenting a paper on a subject, an innovative approach to enhancing technical knowledge and competency in the oil and gas industry. As an introduction of this paper, this study analyzes the current framework within the company and the current tools used in the oil and gas industry worldwide to encourage innovative and technology transfer. It enables the organization to review and reorganize competency framework, improvement on-site and off-site management of oil and gas projects, and the results of this study also provides an alternative roadmap into the competency framework for oil and gas project delivery personnel. In the current economy, organizations really worry about whether to manage innovation centrally or through decentralized business unit. Two needs emerge. The first one is guaranteeing organization efficiency, and the second, exploiting effectively market opportunities. This suggests the integration of knowledge in technology transfer, field which can be accumulated via the knowledge sharing between parties. These two needs would have to be adopted by oil and gas company in order for them to proceed further or to excel in this area in making sure that innovation could be managed accordingly, be it centrally or being decentralized from the business unit. The Building Information Modeling, or we call it BIM, task group, developed a preliminary BIM learning outcomes framework outlining 3 tiers of individual BIM competency as learning outcomes. The first one would be on the strategic level. The second is on the management level. The third is on the technical level. The third, which is referred to technical level, would be for the juniors or the first 5 years of each personnel within the company. The second, which is the tier 2, which is we call it management level, would be for the middle management. Those are for the managers as well as the senior managers. Whereas the strategic level would be for the general managers or the senior general managers, or we call it custodian or senior principal. The BIM learning outcomes framework can be used for various retooling exercise of the human capital, such as skill gap analysis, which is very crucial to know whether there are gaps or not. The second is understanding competitors' investment in capabilities. And the third would be mapping the upskilling or reskilling strategy for an organization workforce. When we talk about understanding competitors' investment, it is referring to how much a company willing to spend on closing the gaps of each personnel. And when we talk about mapping, it is something as the technology improves or as the project progresses, there are some skill that has to be acquired along the line for which the organization has to provide. The project management book of knowledge is very crucial, especially in the energy sector, which provide the best ruler for the organization to gauge the current skill set of their people, which has notably evolved from the knowledge domain to performance. There are the structures of PMBOK guide. The PMBOK 6, which mainly focus on process related, for which there are 10 knowledge area, whereas PMBOK number 7 which is recently being being introduced is focusing on 8 performance domains. When we talk about the 8 performance domain, they are referring to team, stakeholders, life cycle, planning, navigating uncertainties and ambiguities, delivery, performance, and project works. Whereas for PIMBOK 6, it is being referred to 10 knowledge area for which the juniors, or I would say the technical skill has to be acquired from this knowledge area, which refer to integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, stakeholders, methodology. When we talk about the overall competency, there are 4 areas of competency. The first area would be the technical knowledge. The second would be the project delivery. The third would be communication skill. And the fourth would be the learning ability. But this study mainly focused on the first 2, which are the technical knowledge. When we talk about technical knowledge, it's being referred to technical professional certification, as well as the subject matter experts. When we talk about project delivery, we are talking about the project manager's competency profile, which consists of 81 competency, which is being mentioned clearly in PIMBOK 7. On the communication skill and on the learning abilities, these are the 2 basic skill sets that have to be acquired by all personnel, and it could be covered under the skill, under the knowledge, and that could be covered under the human resource. As a finding to this study, the current organization's strategy has to be realigned towards achieving MFT, moving forward towards 50, 30, and 0 as a moving focus target to better overall efficacy. When we talk about the MFT 50, 30, and 0, it is referred to moving forward for Petronas. When we talk about the MFT 50, we are talking about value. 50% of its profit in improvement in cash flow from operation by year 2025. Then when we talk about MFT 30, we are talking about growth. 30% revenue by 2030 from non-traditional to complement the growth in the existing area, oil and gas area. When we talk about the non-traditional, we are talking about the hydrogen or any bio projects. Whereas when we talk about the MFT 0, we are talking about the sustainability net zero carbon emission by year 2050. As part of the recommendation, strategic action such as embedding the project management institute, or we call it PMI talent triangle, as part of the performance driven rather than process oriented. The second one would be a revised technology inventory ruler, or we call it TRR, is suggested to improve the approach of managing talent, innovation, and knowledge and technology transfer applicable in the oil and gas industry. When we talk about the technology inventory ruler, they are subdivided into 4 areas. The first would be the base. Those are the basic knowledge that has to be acquired. Whereas the second one would be on the key. The key are the things that need to be acquired by the personnel as part and parcel of executing the project. Whereas the other 2 would be on the emerging and pacing. As a closing remark, It is imperative that the change be made simultaneously at all three levels of organizations, as it drives the successful adoption and usage of change within the business. When we talk about the changes, it has to be made at three levels. When we talk about, as we talked earlier, that's on the strategy, where we talk about the senior management. When we talk about tactical, we talk about the middle management, project managers, as well as managers. And when we talk about the operational, would be for the young graduates, the project engineers, or for the project executive. Future studies are recommended on the correlation of the two elements, since the field of oil and gas is constantly evolving. To end this presentation, I would like to quote that at the end of the day, performance is an end product of sincerity, principle, and agility. Thank you so much.